You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world. You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Good morning, my family. Good morning to the world. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, good morning to the Caribbean region. You are viewing Brunch, a Taste of Tobago, and I am your host, J.W. Moore, also known as J Soul. And I want to spend some time with you today. It's a wonderful, beautiful Monday on the island of Tobago. And you know, one of the things that I'm so proud about is that I am a Tobagonian. It gives me such pride to be a daughter of this island. And I say a pleasant and a hearty good morning to each and everyone viewing Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. Remember, I'm just a small piece of the pie. There's a very large and wonderful network of persons which makes it happen right here on Tobago Updates Television. Remember, you are viewing us live on Facebook, YouTube, and of course the Amplia network. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I send you such blessings and greetings. I say to you this morning, my kings and queens, in case no one has told you today, you are special and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And of course, we have our wonderful segments because I know some of you are joining us for the first time. And for that first time viewer, thank you, and I promise you would not be disappointed. I also want to say good morning to our viewers in Ontario, New York, and get this, South Africa is on, guys. We are reaching the globe, and I just want to say thank you to my wonderful team that makes it happen right here. Of course, our good stuff segment is up next, and we seek to highlight the sons and the daughters of the soil who are doing wonderful things in our space, who are impacting the world and humanity positively. And of course, I take you to the news day first. Keenan Lizama's Chronicles of a Pastry Chef. Being a pastry chef requires patience, precision, and creativity, and Keenan Lizama has got it all. The 28-year-old creates experiments with a range of pastries, cookies, truffles, framboesa cakes, and even a replica of fruit, and enjoys it thoroughly. Lizama was raised in Santa Cruz and went to San Juan North Secondary School. He told Sunday Newsday that growing up, he had a keen interest in cooking. My aunts and my grandmother used to cook a lot, and I used to be in the kitchen every Sunday just observing them, and it stemmed from there. It's all about the rhythm that we have as Trinbagonians. When we put our hands to something, it's magnificent, it's magical, and it cannot be denied. And also, we go to the Trinidad Guardian. Budding soca Queen Nyla Blackman, living under the legacy of Ras Shorty Eye and carving her niche. Her single round and Rosie has swept the airwaves by storm. The high energy and the seductive soca tune quickly became an overnight internet sensation with its dance challenge. It's just the beginning of what can be expected from budding soca queen Nyla Blackman for 2024. Oh my, I am so proud of our sons and daughters. I cannot stress this enough. Let's talk about Pan. We go to the Daily Express. A Pan song for Pan Day. The last time Adriana Alcaba met former Prime Minister Bassio Panday, he told her he had always liked the way she played the pan. That occasion was last year May when Panday celebrated his 90th birthday at the Diwali Nagar site in Shukwanas. For the festivities, the panist said she had been asked by the family to play 2 Bollywood songs. One of those songs was the popular Tumi Ho from the movie Ashikwi 2, and the song expresses the love and gratitude of a person for a loved one, which she again performed on the double tenor at Panday's funeral last Tuesday at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts. And you know, guys, this is something that we really don't want to go unnoticed. We need to highlight, and I cannot stress this enough, we need to highlight our sons and daughters, our kings and queens who are doing wonderful things. And this platform, I'm so thankful that I have it. I'm so thankful that you invite me into your homes, invite me into your space. I'm hoping that I can make someone just a bit lighter, just a bit happier, just a bit more ready to face the day. Some of us may have awoken with a bit of heaviness, and I'm hoping that brunch can help to ease that tension. So today is a special day. Like I said, it's a Monday, and we have some wonderful people on with us today. We're talking business. We're talking stalwarts who have been business owners, proprietors, and doing so much for the island of Tobago. We have Mr. Denzel White. For those of you who do not know him, if you are familiar with Den's Electronics, then you have to stay for this conversation. It's going to be a wonderful conversation. Den's Electronics has been a staple of the business community here in Tobago for as long as I have known myself. No, I'm not going to let you guess my age or anything, but I'm just saying it's a staple of Tobagonian culture and history. Also, we speak with Endu BC Hall. He is the owner, founder Above Average Fitness, and the Above Average National Triathlon is upon us, and we're going to really dig in and really understand and appreciate and really see what this event has to offer. Also, for our Agro Corner, Keith George joins us, and he's going to be speaking on the Lamb Initiative. Now, for those of you who may not quite know what that entails, we came out of the food festivals. We came out of Blue Food in October. We came out of World Food Day. And the World Food Day celebrations featured many aspects of agriculture and enterprise. And the Lamb Festival, I remember quite clearly, was one of those initiatives. We're going to talk a bit more about that. Also, the Lion King auditions are back. And I know for a fact that my worthy, crafty artisans and actors and dancers and singers, you name it, and we have it all right here in Tobago, they are on their way to auditioning for this esteemed production. Glenda Collins joins us, a musical director, vocal coach of Medea Productions, and she is going to be telling us just a bit more about what this process entails. You actually get to audition. Get this, guys. You audition without having to leave the Trinidad and Tobago space. Now, if that is not something to celebrate, I don't know what is. So you know what? Let me take a break because I have so much to tell you. So let me take a break. I'm going to be right back with more Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Mr. Denzel White joins us, for owner and proprietor of Den's Electronics. You guys don't want to miss this. We'll see you in just a few.
Everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Storebay Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
Your destiny. The best way to predict it is to create it. Do you see yourself exploring exotic destinations or spending quality time with family? However you see yourself, create your own retirement destiny with Tata Life's Destiny Personal Savings Booster. Choose from one of 3 investment options with guaranteed minimum investment returns to secure a monthly retirement income for life, with the option to choose your retirement age. So what's your retirement destiny? Call 62TATIL or visit tatil.co.tt to learn more today. Conditions apply. Tatil Life, a member of the Answer McCall Group.
Yo everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Builders General Hardware, located right here in Tobago, Local Road, Tobago. That's correct, right here in Tobago. And we are offering you guys the best prices on all hardware material. And if you would like to get your free quotation done, all you have to do is WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will give you guys the best prices on all hardware material. That is a guaranteed, as we are matching or beating any quotations.
And one of the things that I actually have to speak on, there are certain establishments, there are certain businesses that are more than just a business. There are these staples of our community, of our history, of our culture. And this place, I remember so well. This was a place that my father always visited. This was his place. This was his one-stop shop. If you guys have ever heard of Zen's Electronics, then you know we're of a certain age, right? So this is where it all started, with electronics and services of this nature in Tobago. As a matter of fact, Zen's Electronics is such a staple of Tobago. It started in 1980. Do you guys believe it? And I have the privilege of speaking to the owner, proprietor, and the founder of this wonderful business. Mr. Denzel White joins us on the brunch set this morning, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation. So let me just take the time to say good morning to you. Good morning. And thank you so much for being a part of brunch. So, Zen's Electronics. Now, we were talking before we came back from the break, and it has been such a staple of the community. Dens. Tell me how you started, how you got into the business.
Well, I started electronics, believe it or not, in 1966.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just came out of school. And that is primary school. Now, I am one of those who never went to a secondary school.
Right.
I went to primary school and I got interested in electronics. So I started electronics. Now, in those days, there weren't many options to, do electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, where there are many repair shops and many people involved in electronics. So I started a course from Bennett Emile College in London. In 1966, I think I paid the cost of the course was $85.
Mm-hmm.
But it was theory only. I did basic theory, so I have a very good background in theory.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike now, people just dabbling into electronics without having
the proper training.
Background in theory. And
yes.
So I did that. Now, subsequently, I may not be able to give all the details.
Mm-hmm.
Subsequently, I got to know someone who was involved in electronics. So in 67, I started, going around with him, doing his repairs, going at his home from time to time. In those days, it was mainly radio. There were few TVs at the time. As a matter of fact, there were only privileged people who had TVs in those mid-late 60s.
Yeah.
And of course, it was black and white.
Yes.
Now, subsequently, I started home at Blackrock where I live. I started, doing repairs and that sort of thing. Right. Even somewhere between there, I went to J.N. Harriman came to Tobago. That was in 1969. So the guy who I was wrong with, and I used to do my little thing at home, I find I wasn't getting enough exposure and enough practice and that sort of thing. So I got into Harriman's, and I spent about 4.5, just over 4 years there. But Harriman left Tobago in January of 1974. Now I had the option to go to Trinidad, but I chose not to. Because somewhere along the line, though I was a young person, like 23, but I don't think that Trinidad was the right environment for me. So I thought it best to stay in Tobago. So I stayed in Tobago. So I started, doing more repairs. I was doing work on vehicles, installing decks and that sort of thing. I started installing a few decks and speakers and a little parts at home and that sort of thing. And as time goes on, 1980, what I did, I came into Scarborough. There was a space for rent that is upstairs where Spence Plaza is now. But in those days, it was Food Lab. That was one of the early restaurants in Scarborough. It was on Wilson Road. In those days, Wilson Road was far different to what it is now.
Yes,
there was
yes.
a breadfruit tree across the road and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember Food Lab. Food Lab had the best fries. Oh my gosh, that's what I remember. On Fridays, my dad would go there and he would bring home chicken and chips from Food Lab. That's one of my memories. And Buddies, which was also an NIB mall.
But these were subsequently around 83, 84.
Yeah, I remember those two.
Right. So I came in Scarborough. No, the rent in those days was $250. Now my parents told me, boy, you're going into Scarborough to pay a rent. You're home, you're not paying any rent. But I feel, somewhat stunted at home in that, and I think my parents were inconvenienced too, because our living room was a repair shop. And it was unfair to all of us,
Yes.
Christmas time, we tend to put away things to make the place look a little acceptable. But it was inconvenience for all of us.
Yes.
So I came into Scarborough paying the rent of $250. In those days, $250 was
Like
a tidy sum here
thousands.
because you were charging about $30 to repair television, and a radio might charge about $15, $10 as the case might be according to what it is. And but I chose it best to come into Scarborough. But by then I started selling 1 and 2 little appliances, like a little car deck, speakers. I even started selling a few black and white TVs. Right. And around that time, color TVs just started coming in. So I started selling the other color TV, I might have 1 or 2 sets in stock, the kind of thing, in case, I get an unusual purchase. I have it already available, or sometimes I might store things at home, depending on where it is, and that sort of thing. Right, but I always wanted more space, and I wanted to expand. So there comes the now. I came in February 1980. I came in upstairs Food Lab. So in March 28th of 1983, I went to NIB Mall.
So 1983 is when you did the move
I did
to
the
NIB.
move from upstairs Food Lab
Right.
to
NIB.
NIB Mall. When I went on NIB Mall, I was the youngest individual there. I was bordering 33. I was 32 going on 33.
Right.
Right. So much to say, when I came in town, I wasn't 38. When I came in town from Black Rock, that's all I think. Right. So I spent 30 years at NIB Mall. And I mean, during that time, there was a time when I used to go and do house repairs, go at people at different times, that sort of thing. Because I used to repair car decks, TVs, stereos, all that sort of thing. I even used to go as far as Charlottesville at times to do repairs. So, but you know, having a fixed location, it's more convenient. You can reach more people. Notwithstanding, I still used to do some outside service, might be after hours on weekends, that sort of thing. Now during that time, I started, you know, going to Trinidad and, you know, shopping. Because I changed my vehicle. I got a vehicle, you know, which was a big wagon then, a Kingswood station wagon, which I had for 16 years. So I used to go to Trinidad, you know, bring up goods and offload and that sort of thing. And I mean, I was young at the time. In the early 30s, you could afford to work hard. Because my days were very long. Sometimes they go as late as midnight. And but you find when I'm going to Trinidad, the day when I'm going to collect goods, I would go earlier. Of course, I would have cut off early. When I finished around 5 in the evening, I would go and organize and get ready to go down. But I would catch a boat in the night. Those were the T-stin and the Geltin. It was very efficient and it was very convenient in that the boat used to leave around 11 o'clock, 10, 11. You go down, you come off the boat 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would start hustling. I just catch a bath and start hustling from that time of in the morning and go right through until 9 in the night, catch a bath and head for the boat.
Back up the roads.
And I will come up on the boat, believe it or not, I will come, the boat would reach in about 4:30. I would offload my vehicle. Myself alone, no one with me. Sometimes I make about 30, 40 trips up the Babstack on NIB Mall, finish, and I would go home and come back and do a normal day, which can be anything like 8:30, 9 o'clock, right back to midnight. But you know, you're young at the time.
But the passion, because I'm listening to you speak, and there's a passion that you have. There's a love that you have for what you do. And so even though it was challenging because you would have been by yourself, you would have had to do all of the heavy lifting. There was no assistance. There was no form of help. But you had a focus and you had a goal that you were working towards. And it was, I wouldn't say that it's rare to have people that look like me in business, but you are one of the few that, you know, charted into that, and you're still doing it for today. What was it like in the early days when you started Dent Electronics? When you moved to NIB, was it a different pace? Was it a different clientele? What was it like when you did the big move?
Now, let me recap a bit. Now, when I came into Scarborough, I would dare say I started off with my sister. Amelia White started off with me.
Okay.
And of course, I will have to always thank her because she was one who assisted me in the earlys, and she was with me from 1980 until 2012.
Okay.
Right. But she alone, more or less, I was the technical person, she was more or less like the clerk and doing a little
the
book
business side
and that sort of thing.
Right.
And she was with me when I went across to NIB Mall as well. But the physical part of it, mainly it was myself. But just later in 1983, my little brother, my last brother, most people know him as Dwayne White Knight. Some people feel he's my son, but he's my last brother.
Okay, well, right. I learned something today.
Yes.
Thank you for the show. Yes, I'm very familiar with Dwayne.
Because normally people will give him message to give his father, and I will get it. People give me message to give my son, and he will get it.
Yeah.
Because we know where they're coming from. Well, see, it come from way back, and I used to drop him to school when he was at Scarborough Second Signal Hill from time to time. That sort of thing. Right. So he left school. So at the time, he left school in late in 83. So I thought it best, rather than leave him out there on his own, I think it best to put him under my wings and keep him occupied. Because needless to say, because my parents were pretty mature, they put him at at a very late age. Late
So
stage
there
of
was
their
that
life.
age difference
Yes,
between you
yeah,
guys.
17 years.
Right, and so that's why people thought that you were his dad,
Yeah, people
as opposed to
thought
his
so.
brother. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came with me and he assisted me that sort of thing. But I never used to, force him to, well, come in town early in the morning to offload and that kind of thing. So he was there. But he was more or less, kind of helping around and that sort of thing. And of course, that would have assisted him in developing a technical background as well. Granted, he would have done a little electronics and not signaling.
Yeah.
But that was, basic.
But was he interested? Did it feel like you were forcing it on him, or was he interested in being a part of what you do?
He was interested, yes. He was interested. But he was always thinking and coming up with ideas and that sort of thing. And you realize that eventually he went on his own. And I give him, space and opportunity for him to grow. And I actually, I sort of nurture him as well.
Yes.
And today I can say I am proud to see what he has become.
I am very proud because I would have been around art and culture all my life since the age of 7. And there's certain names that are synonymous with electronics, stage management, miking and lighting and stuff like that. And Dwayne has been around and doing such a wonderful job. And I know it has to do with some of, the teachings that he would have gotten from you, some of the training, advice, but sometimes we have to innovate and we move out and do our own thing. But I think that it's a wonderful legacy, because we need to see ourselves being successful. What do you think about that? As African people, as black people?
Yeah, of course, because there's the opportunities are there, but regardless of whatever challenges maybe existing, we can succeed, because there are people who are successful in better circumstances than us, and there are people who even do better in worse circumstances.
Yeah.
So we should not allow challenges and obstacles to be an excuse for us not progressing or going forward.
Definitely.
But I must also say part of my success has to do in my training and because of the environment in which I grew up, my parents. Notwithstanding, I grew up in an agricultural background and that kind of thing, because I grew up, mainly around seeing about animals and agriculture and that sort of thing. I grew up tough, I know about catching crab and going to the market and sell, walking around selling avocados and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
And I've learned the idea of being thrifty. Because when there were 3 boys around my age, I was in the middle. And when we set crab trap and we catch the crabs, and I would come in town, I do not know, I was the one just happened to be the one who coming into Scarborough. I'm talking about I wasn't 12 yet. And sell the crabs at the market. Those days the market was at James Park. We would carry the money home. I would go with him cash. We will divide it equally among 3 of us, regardless of how many crab each person caught. And we would have gone to the bank and saved the money. So we learn to be disciplined and manage funds and that kind of thing. And we were always busy. My father always say, you must always find something to do. And he always tell us, if you rest before you're weary, when you're weary, you can't rest.
Yeah, I like that.
So in other words,
advice.
When someone is young, it's the time to work hard and hustle and prepare for when you get later on in life. Because later on in life, you may not be able to.
Yes.
Thank God, I'm in my 70s and I am still physically able.
Yes.
But only through the grace of God.
Definitely. And we are going to take a break, guys. We're going to be right back with more from Mr. Denzel White, owner, founder, proprietor of Denz Electronics right here in Tobago. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back with more Brunch, a taste of Tobago. See you guys soon.
At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
Don't be fearful or ignorant about diseases. The opportunity to learn how to effectively work with or even reverse sicknesses is here. Do you know someone that is suffering from an illness? You are invited to come and learn in this in-depth, hands-on training program. Call this number and reserve your space in this God-inspired, hands-on medical missionary training program going on in Tobago. See you there.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. Never ever worry if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
And we are back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. And guys, it has been a wonderful conversation so far. Mr. Denzel White is here. Dens Electronics, staple of our community, our business community, our history, our culture, you name it. And this wonderful establishment has been around for so long and still up and alive and well and kicking. And we get the chance to really speak to the man who is Denzel White. So welcome back to Brunch, a taste of Tobago.
Thank you.
And before we went to the break, you were talking about taking your brother under your wing. And it's amazing when you have support, the reaches that you can alleviate to. And this brings me to family. What was family life like for you? You mentioned the agricultural part, getting up and having to deal with the livestock and that sort of thing. But what was it like for you in your household as a boy growing up?
Well, as a boy, you did all sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
You play cricket, you play football, you had all these activities, these games, and that sort of thing. Of course, like let me go even way back. I had the opportunity to go to school without shoe.
Oh yeah. So did you walk to school?
I walked to school,
Yeah.
Blackhawk School.
Right.
So it was a Moravian school. And subsequently, I went 5 years at the Moravian school, and about 7 years at the government school. About 6 years at the government school.
So you ended at the government.
I ended at the government school, which was
Right.
the primary school. Remember,
Right.
we moved from the Moravian school to the Blackhawk government school.
Yes.
Right. So, the usual thing, you tethering animals, you work in your garden, you're catching your crabs, and that sort of thing. You're going to church. In those days, you would walk from Blackhawk to Plymouth to go to Anglican church.
Yes.
And that sort of thing. Subsequently, she did. My mother sort of pioneered, and there was a cell of the Anglican Church at Blackrock,
Right.
which subsequently developed into the Blackrock Moravian Church, of which my mother laid the cornerstone, because she was an integral part of that.
Yeah.
So I had a sort of religious background. So that sort of give me, some sort of, I grew up with, there was some integrity in me, because that sort of thing. Because you have a religious background, that is critical to someone, you're growing up and that kind of thing, because religious conviction,
Yes.
it is very important. So it sort of keep you on track now, so you'll be disciplined and that kind of thing.
It gives you strength as well, strength of character.
Of course.
Yeah, it does.
Course.
It does.
It gives you strength of purpose. So we growing up, that sort of thing, and playing cricket, playing football as boys, a little competition and that kind of thing. Well, my mother, I am one of 7 siblings, but my eldest brother did not grow with us. He used to come and spend time with us. So 6 of us grew up together. Of course, Dwayne was really late. So Dwayne was around for part of the time, I would say.
Part of the journey.
Yeah, and he's 10 years younger than the one before him.
Yes.
Right.
So there was that space in there.
Right. But my parents always, make sure that we stay on the right track, keep us on track, and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Right. And my mother and father, they were always together. So we had a sort of closely, knitted family, that kind of thing. We disciplined, we grew up together, and that kind of thing. We play together, we live together, that sort of thing, and we were comfortable. And I know what it is I know about tough times, because I grew up in a home without electricity and without a radio. So I had it rough. People talk about poverty, they do not know. I know it, I had it tough, I know what it is. What people taking for granted now is what was privilege. And those days, way back, there was a time when there were no telephones.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to even think about how that would be.
Yeah.
It's like I can't even imagine.
Yeah. When we came into, even when I came to upstairs Spence Plaza, then the election started in 80. There were no phones. When I went across and I bought me mall in 83, there was still no telephone. Telephones weren't available. It was some years after telephones came.
Yeah, and that's the ring around
one line, of course.
Yeah, where you had to put your finger and turn the circle.
And of course, when you calling a number within Tobago, there were 4 digits, so there was no code, there was no 639.
What?
So if you're calling Dental Electronics, rather than say 639-3497, you dial 3497.
Wow. This is like so much history.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine it.
Even prior to that, it might be startling to some of you. We used to leave Blackrock to come in town. Another young fella might have been in my early teens. Like you want to get a call to Trinidad, we used to call it an overseas call. You try to get a call to Trinidad. You come by the telephone exchange where TSTT is up now, uptown, and you did not get through tonight. Like 8 o'clock you come in town, you're coming back, you live in Blackrock and you're coming in Scarborough the following night to get an overseas call to Trinidad.
Wow.
So that is to tell you the opportunities and privilege we have now, and that is telling us how far we came from.
Yeah.
Right.
And one of the things that I absolutely love, you see the continuity, the legacy being passed on, because it's so important to have that legacy, to have that history, to have that devotion, praying together, as you said, that family devotion. These things, so many of us take for granted, and they're so important to the development of someone's character. And you developed because of the teachings, because of the type of family life, the type of understanding that you had with your parents. And I'm saying this because we are lacking the human aspect. The human aspect is, we're losing it very, very slowly. We're losing it to all of the phones and the social media, and just being kind to one another, being courteous of each other. It's going out the window. I see so many young people now. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my young people. I love when they do wonderful things. But there are so many youngsters now that don't exercise those values that we hold so dear. Good morning, good afternoon, thank you. Basic, and we see it not happening. It's like slowly slipping away.
Yeah, because what is that mean? Generally, we are all operating in a world by ourselves, you know. Because when we get up in the morning, the technology.
Yeah.
So we sometimes people within our household, there are even problems in communicating with one another. As a matter of fact, sometimes we find ourselves making a phone call or communicating to someone within our household via the technology.
Yeah, and they could be right there, not even 2 feet away, but you're texting.
But added to that too, remember, we are building bigger houses and we're having smaller families.
Wow, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are building bigger houses and we are raising smaller families. Now, I would like to use this opportunity to mention some of the challenges I had, during my lifetime, more or less, so recently. Well, as I said, before, because of my religious background and my faith in God, that would have helped me through. During the last, what I would say, transformation, because, NIB Mall was demolished.
Oh, yes.
In 2013.
Yes.
That is after me being there for 30 years. I was there longer than anyone else. No one else spent 30 years there. All the people who were at NIB Mall in 2013, when it was demolished, met me at NIB Mall. Including NIS, including Endeavors, including Parkers, everybody. When I went there, I met about 4 people. Also, that with that challenge and what NIB did, it was strange. We got 6 weeks notice telling us that the building will be demolished. Now
6 weeks.
Picture yourself being somewhere for 30 years.
Yeah, that's like a second
and you
home.
get 6 weeks notice saying that the building will be demolished. Notwithstanding that, I personally had other challenges.
Of course.
Thanks to the glory of God and the
Yes.
mercies of God. My wife was sick at home, so I was getting some sleepless nights.
Yeah.
My children were at university studying during that period, so I had to grapple with all of that. So I had to move. Now, you have to move from NIB Mall, not knowing where you're going. But I know, of course, I was going to operate my business. Whether it meant going other premises I didn't want to call, or operating from my vehicle or something like that. But God is so good.
All the time.
Right. One night I can remember I prayed, and the prayer, an opportunity came up where a location on Burnett Street. So I said, I wonder if this is the right place. But I looked at it. I'm telling you that we are leaving NIB Mall we started to demolish Monday. So we are moving out by Friday. So we have until Saturday to move out from the mall totally. Move out all you have. And here I am, up to Thursday, which is a couple days before, not knowing where I'm going. That time I'm offloading things, I'm carrying my things all over the place.
Yeah.
Some at home, some at a location in Lambo, and so forth. But I done an opportunity came up which I said at Burnett Street, and I got up one morning and I prayed about it 4 o'clock, and I was directed divinely. God told me, take that opportunity. So I called my children and tell them, this is an opportunity and I think we should take up. They agreed, and so I went uptown.
Oh, glory to God. Glory to God.
Of course.
Yeah, and you see, it brings me back to what we were talking about before, where your faith and your belief and that strength that you develop when you have that spiritual connection with the Almighty, it fuels you. It opens pathways that may not be opened otherwise. And it was as clear as day what you needed to do. It was like an instruction, telling you, okay, listen, Denzel, you are going to this location and this is where you're going to work from. It was so clear that pathway opened up. You felt relief?
Yeah, of course, I felt good because here you are Thursday. You do not know what you're doing. You only decide where you are going to go Friday morning, and lo and behold, I opened the Monday. The first day I sold $65.
Yeah.
But I was glad at least I was somewhere.
Yeah, and still operating.
Yeah, because no one knew where I was going. And you're talking about you unpacking and trying to find things. You're looking for things while you trying to sell people stuff. So that first day was really out. But I'll say thanks. I had 2 of my daughters with me. They were and they were sort of helpful. They assisted me.
So where can we find you? Because I know viewers are looking on, but we just want to make sure that we give them as much information as possible. Before we wrap really quickly, where can we find Dens Electronics?
Well, I'm at Port Mall, 7A, 1st floor, Port Mall.
All right, so it's Port Mall, Scarborough, 7A, Unit 7A, 1st floor.
Yeah,
and there's where you're going to find Dens Electronics. You guys should really come check them out. It's a wonderful place to shop. My husband just recently bought 2 speakers. He believes that everything has to come from Dens, just like my dad. So it's about the quality, it's about the standard. So Mr. Denzel White, thank you so much for being a part of Brunch today. I had so much fun talking with you. You had a good time?
Yes, thank you very much. And I would like to thank the people of Tobago. It's an opportunity to be serving people, serving the country and the island of Tobago since the mid-60s.
Yes.
And I would say the thing about business, which I always tell people, once you satisfy people's needs, your business will be successful.
Definitely.
The key about business is not about making money. Is about satisfying people's needs.
And you said it so well, satisfaction guaranteed. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back with more Brunch, a taste of Tobago. But before I do that, let me just mention our trivia question for today. This species of turtle nests on our shores during this time of the year. The answer, of course, at the end of the show. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back. Don't go nowhere. Come right back. See you guys soon.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products, that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your lights can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Hey, it's you. Come in. Long time I see you. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kira and Kayla? I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
We are back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago, and let me tell you guys, there is so much going on in this space, it's not even funny. I am so privileged that I get the opportunity to speak with such a large cross-section of business persons and entrepreneurs on the island. And of course, my next guest is no different. Now, for those sporting enthusiasts, you know, we get into different forms of sport, athletics, you name it, and we do it all right here in Tobago. But triathlons are a buzz in the space right now. And you know, one of the things that I always admired about this event is that there are so many layers that you have to unravel. There's so many things that test your athleticism and your physicality. And so we get to speak with the Indu BC, and I absolutely love this name. I saw it and I had to make sure that I pronounced it correctly. So Indu is here with me. He is the owner and founder of Above Average Fitness, and this triathlon is his brainchild, and we get to speak with Indu this morning. So Indu, thank you so much for being a part of Brunch.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell us about, just a bit, Above Average Fitness. Tell us a bit about your business.
Above Average Fitness, This was birthed out of COVID. A quote I read this week: the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is when good men do nothing. And I believe that in COVID, most people were despaired, like what to do now or what I could do now. And I just always believe that something could always be done once we have the chance and once we get that breath of life.
Yes.
And me, for the love of fitness, I believe at that point in time I could have shared it with others and also use my ability to help others. And I began a fitness club in Trinidad. I went on a fitness journey, and from that I always like, sports, and I started to narrow into multi-sports.
Okay.
And at that time I didn't even know, like multi-sports was this big thing.
That
I just used to be
actually a big thing,
watching this thing on TV, Strongman, and one of my bosses in work, Pure Roach, he would come to work and he would already be energized, and I'd be like, boss, what's going on with you? And he's like, well, I went on a long ride this morning and he into Charlton, and I'm like, Charlton? I was like, but Charlton, Trinidad, no good sea.
Yeah, like what?
Like, but, and then I came home, at that time I was working in Trinidad, and I came home on weekend, I was like, but Buku, Charlton, this could happen here.
Yeah.
And I reached out to him. He gave me some numbers. I reached out to the then vice president, who's the president now, Mr. Rahu, and I reached out to Mr. Derek Daniel, the president and owner of the EXO Triathlon Club, and they spoke to me. I spoke to them, told them my ideas and my plan, and they were happy to get going. And in 2002, we kept the first above average fitness triathlon where we had 15 persons, all from Trinidad, but we had 5 relay teams that was from Tobago. And from then to now, we had one in 2023 where we had 29 persons, and then we had the sprint, and then we had the super sprint with 15 persons. So I would say there was it grew, and coming out of that, we had the Commonwealth Games that was held last year at the Buku facilities where our triathlon is normally held. So there was growth, something in which I was thankful for. For me, I would say that what we just like to see is more coming out of it. More coming out of it. Again, there was a community course this year that was held at the YMCA swimming pool. Four coaches from Tobago would have taken part in this community course, and this community course would now help us to go on now to do our level 1 course as triathlon coaches. So now Tobago could say that we have our first triathlon club here in Tobago.
Yeah, we got it as
for sure, because we number one, we have the facilities, and we have the, as you mentioned, we have the athleticism for it, because one of our own athletes here, Jacob Cox, he right now is the national triathlon athlete of the year.
Good.
So we have it. It's just about using it and taking full advantage of what we have.
Yeah, and utilizing what we have, because sometimes we have so many resources, but the marketing may not be as it should be, the exposure may not be where it needs to be, and I was so pleased that I got to actually hear about this wonderful triathlon. So tell us about the triathlon, give us some details. Persons need to register. what can they do? How can they find you? But let's talk about the triathlon just a bit first. So let's get into
the triathlon is made up of the swim, which would be with the sprint. So there are two different parts of it. So there's the sprint and then there's the super sprint. The super sprint would be half the distances of the sprint.
Right.
So the sprint would be in the swim, which is 750 meters, the ride, which is 20 kilometers, and the run, which is 5 kilometers.
Right.
And then the super sprint being 375 meters, the ride being 10 kilometers, and then the run being 2.5 kilometers. We would always advise the persons who doing it for the first time to do the super sprint, seeing that the distances are shorter.
Yeah.
This year we decided to add a 5K to the event.
Okay.
So after the triathlon, there's a 5K after for all those persons who have been running, because I don't know if you noticed, Tobagonians are on a fitness road right now. I think bakeries crying out because they're staying away from flour.
Yeah.
Tobagonians on a fitness road right now. And for me, it has been very hard to just, sometimes train, and I want to see where I'm at. Sometimes it's not about competition, but it's just about, seeing where I'm at. So we added a 5K this year. So persons who want to come and take part in the triathlon or in the 5K, you could register online. If you go on the Above Average Fitness page on Instagram, you go on the Above Average Fitness page on Facebook, or you go on my page in the BC Amadi Michael Hall on Facebook, you could register, or you could come and you could register on the day.
Okay.
For the triathlon, the price is $125 to register for the triathlon. If you're bringing a relay team, the relay team would be able to take part in the sprint distance of the triathlon. That cost is $150, and to register for the 5K, it is $100.
All right. So just reiterate, where do persons go for the face-to-face? If you're going to the actual venue to register, where would that be?
So registration begins at 6 a.m. at the Buku Court Race facility on Saturday, the 23rd of March.
Right.
Saturday, 23rd of March, 6 a.m. registration begins. As you can see on the flyer, the first event starts at 7. The second event, the super sprint, starts at 9:30, and then we have the 5K that begins at 10:30.
Right. And this is so amazing. I feel like a proud auntie right now, because I just love when you guys do amazing things. I love when you are on a positive journey. I love when you have that eye for business, you have that eye for continuity. And this triathlon is definitely one of those initiatives that will grow from strength to strength. I see that. The participation is gonna also grow, because so many people are into that physical fitness space. That's the space that so many of us are in. Not me, although I keep it real. I need some work in that regard, but we'll talk about that another day. But in terms of being physically fit, it's not just about winning the trophies and winning the medals and carrying the accolades of what comes along with that.
Correct.
We're talking about basically our health.
Correct. Health and wellness is very, very important, because we see a lot of young persons, middle-aged persons just falling down these days, and from what?
Yeah.
And I could tell you this for sure. Nowadays, you look in the mirror and you say, well, I small, I not to do nothing. It's not like that again, because we're really not sure what's going on inside of the body.
Definitely.
What we take in is very, 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 very important, because food now and food long time is different. So we really have to pay attention to that. I have a surprise, and I think I'll drop it here first.
Okay.
We are currently planning to keep our bike race on the Sunday. That would be the 24th. It's in planning.
Right.
Tobago as a bike group, a growing fraternity cyclists. I am in talks with the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation, Ms. Rena Williams, and we are reaching out to our sponsor right now. We are in talks with him. And if everything goes as the plan, once everything goes as the plan, don't hold me to it, we will be having a cycling race on the 24th.
All right. So quickly before we wrap, just remind us of the dates again for the event and where people can sign up to register.
The event would be on Saturday, the 23rd of March, 2024. Registration, you could register online on any one of our Facebook or any one of our social media pages. You could also register on the day. Registration begins at 6 a.m. at the Buku Integrated Facilities. On Saturday, Buku, again, just like the Commonwealth Games, would be turned into a village of sports.
Yes.
Again, the best village in Tobago is Buku. So after the 5K, you know, you could take a walk on the boardwalk, go on the jetty, go on the beach right now.
Yeah.
And relax.
Yeah.
So, again, as we try our best to grow this event, and not just grow this event, but put sports in Tobago, because I believe sports could really bring things back together.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it can unite. It's a form of unity. It's a form of evolution. It's a form of change. And this is definitely something that we want to see grow from strength to strength. So Indu, I want to thank you so much for being a part of Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Of course, we wish you blessings and success.
Thank you very much.
Whatever you endeavor to do.
Yes,
all right, so go out there and have a wonderful, successful event.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back with Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. But our trivia question, I feel I need to mention again. This species of turtle nests on our shores during this time of the year. Of course, the answer at the end of the show. We're going to be right back with Agro Corner. Keith George comes and sits with me next. Don't miss it. We'll be right back.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Hello everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Tobago Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
your destiny? The best way to predict it is to create it. Do you see yourself exploring exotic destinations or spending quality time with family? However you see yourself, create your own retirement destiny with Tata Life's Destiny Personal Savings Booster. Choose from one of 3 investment options with guaranteed minimum investment returns to secure a monthly retirement income for life, with the option to choose your retirement age. So what's your retirement destiny? Call 62TATIL or visit tatil.co.tt to learn more today. Conditions apply. Tatil Life, a member of the Ansa Makal Group.
And we are back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. You guys know I have to go over my notes from time to time. So many things happen on this set. So if you caught me, oh well, I gotta look over my notes sometimes. Thank you so much for being a part of Brunch today. I am so pleased that you are here with us. Thank you once again for inviting us into your space, into your day, and into your life. Of course, we speak on so many wonderful topics. It's Monday. It's a beautiful one at that. And of course, our Agro Corner is up next. I am very privileged. I am so pleased. Tobago is actually a small space because so many people come on and I realize that, okay, but hi, I know this person or I worked with this person. And today is just one of those days. So I welcome to the set the Technical Advisor, Livestock Department of Agriculture, Mr. Keith George. And good morning to you and welcome to Brunch.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and you walk through the door and I realized that, oh my gosh, this is Mr. George from Agriculture. And I was even doing like the background story of when I worked there briefly. And I remember you because you were one of those persons that were always very, very pleasant, very kind, very helpful. And sometimes you go into a new environment and you're not sure what type of energy or personality you're going to meet. And I remember, you may not remember me, that's fine. But I remember you because you were always very kind. And that is what stood out about you. So I realized when you walked in that I actually knew who you were.
Well, thanks for the observation and thanks for the compliments.
You're most welcome. So the Lamb Initiative. Let's talk about that. I remember that we had the first installation of the Lamb Fest, which took place for October of 2023. And some of your colleagues were here and they gave wonderful reviews. And it's definitely something that's going to grow from strength to strength. So that part is a given. There's no ifs or buts about it. But so much more has been going on in the space. So let's go. Tell us about what's going on.
Well, before I go forward, I probably, it's just appropriate that I recognize the efforts of the Secretary of the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Mrs. Natisha Charles Pantin. She is pretty much the brainchild of this initiative. And the administrator in our division, Mrs. Sherry-Ann Edwards-Louis. They both strongly support this initiative. And this morning is the first meeting of its kind, where we are throwing it out to the public, as it were.
Okay.
And we trust that the farming community embrace the project. And what exactly is the project?
Yes.
All right. The initiative is aimed at purchasing 1,000 lambs and 500 kids between the ages of 2 to 4 months. Purchased by the division through key stakeholder in that aspect is the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, TADCO.
Right.
They are one of our stakeholders. Right. The objective is to purchase these lambs, to grow them out, and then to place some into our breeding flock, both the sheep and goats, and the other part of the population, some of which will go back to the farmers, and some of which, you speak of the lamb fest, will go into the marketing pool. But I think the background to all of that will probably be critical for your audience and for other stakeholders who will have an interest. My area is really livestock and specifically sheep development. Most of my career, even when you knew me in the division, most of my career focused around that. What is happening? Apart from that, Tobago, back in 1970 to 72, Tobago was identified as having this special comparative advantage for lamb production.
Oh, wow.
Right? And that saw the birth of the Blending Sheep Multiplication Research Station, which is under the Division of Agriculture. That station served as a regional satellite station to produce lambs for the entire region. So there was the Trinidad and Tobago government support, and there was regional support.
Right.
And international support for the development of that station. The objective there was to produce the lambs, reach out to the farmers and the wider region, right? Blending fulfilled that mandate, because we're talking 1972 to now, just over 50 years, right? And of course, having fulfilled the mandate, there are challenges beyond, the mandate. What are the challenges now? The key challenge is a downward spiraling in the reproductive flux on the island. I see a downward spiraling in that the population of animals at Blending now probably is at its all-time low. Not just at Blending Hope Farm, because we're dealing with sheep. Blending is exclusively sheep. Hope Farm has goats. Kendall Farm School has goats. And we also have sheep at Runnymede Breeding Unit, Kendall Farm School, and Charlottesville Breeding Unit.
Okay.
All right. So those are the government stations that are involved in the small ruminant production on the island. All right. Now I speak of the downward spiral in the population. We are at the lowest ebb now in terms of the reproductive herd. And therefore, this initiative aims directly at reversing that situation. Getting the trend to go upwards again. All right, and the trend is projecting towards 800 breeding females, sheep, that is, at Blending at the end of the cycle.
Right.
Right now we're just down less than 200. All right, and at Kendall, Runnymede, and Charlottesville, in terms of the sheep, 300 and the goats 300 on those other units. All right. So that those units are charged by the government to do the reproduction and pass the lambs out to the farming community. So if their numbers are bad, then delivering that expectation will invariably fall short. All right. So our secretary, who is ever mindful of the situation, would have thought about and inquired, how could we reverse the trend? How could we become more efficient at delivering on the mandate? And that pretty much saw the birth of this project.
Yeah, and the initiative, it seems it's so timely. Because there definitely was that trend that was spiraling, even to the general eye, even to those of us who aren't employed to
in
really
that sector.
And invested in looking at these statistics. It was so evident that we were just seeing less sheep. It just wasn't the number. It just wasn't that capacity that we were accustomed to in previous years. So the initiative, I would say, came about in such a timely fashion. It's really needed.
definitely. And I think, well, following the trends, as I said, a lot of my engagement is in the small ruminant sector. Coming out or during the COVID period, there was a very steep spike in the demand for the small ruminants. We were seeing far more vehicles. Most of our output goes to Trinidad. And we were seeing far more vehicles, traders, coming from Trinidad, trying to source animals in Tobago.
Right.
That period would have seen a big extraction in our reproductive herd. Because then we had restrictions with COVID. You had a bigger demand. So of course, people are going to cash in where it's possible. But what was happening is that the southern borders in Trinidad were closed. There was greater monitoring on that side of Trinidad. And so we know that a lot of animals come through the southern border in Trinidad.
Oh, yes.
All right. And because that border was closed during the COVID time, the butchers had to find other options. And so more of them were coming to Tobago. And of course, we just couldn't fulfill the demand.
Yes, and facilitate.
What it meant is that a meaningful part, of course, we don't have all the statistics, a meaningful part of your reproductive herd was extracted during that period. And of course, we're just in the post-COVID era, so you're seeing where it's becoming increasingly evident of the need to strengthen the reproductive capacity.
Definitely. And I think too, we had a lot of selling, as you said, buying and the selling taking place. Just because people were basically trying to make ends meet. COVID hit us really hard. And many of us had to go back to the drawing table, as they said. What am I doing? How could I sustain my family? How can I make this money? A lot of people lost their jobs. It was just a whole other vibe, as we say. And it lent that opening to where farmers were really selling their
valuable. Right. Beyond that, there are a couple of challenges in this sector. We're treating one of fertility. And probably for your audience, it might be reasonable to explain that. Fertility has to do with the number of females that become pregnant when they're exposed to the males. Right. Generally, we'll breed in groups. So let's say you expose 10 females to a male and 5 become pregnant. You know, basically the exposure is between 30 and 45 days. If 5 become pregnant, then you're at 50% fertility.
Yes.
Right? Usually, you will expect 90 to 95. Fertility on the island at the moment is wavering between 60 and 65, 70. Right? That means that technically, fewer of your female animals are becoming pregnant when exposed to the male. Now, it is not necessarily a female problem.
Yes.
Because fertility is a combination of male and female issues, right? So we have to find out why the low fertility. A second overlay to that is the prolificacy. What is prolificacy? When the females become pregnant, they give birth. Generally, with sheep and goat, we'll expect 2 lambs or kids, as the case might be. Internationally, the average is 1.5. What we are seeing is a high incidence of 1s. So you're below the threshold. A third issue is mortality. Among the lambs, well, among all classes of animals, the lambs are born, but the lambs we're focusing on here, particularly now, the lambs are born and a significant percentage die. When I did my work initially, within the first 30 days of birth, you had the highest mortalities. But when overall your mortality is up, then what it means is that you have fewer lambs going on the chain, the market chain. The replacement, because mothers and males and females will die, the mature ones, and you have to replace them. So overall, you have a fewer lambs to do that replacement, and that represents automatically a downward spiraling of your capacity.
There you go. And you explained it so well. We have so much to talk about because you know that you have to come back and sit with me.
We have to rebound.
And really get into it. But before we wrap really quickly, our 2024 installation of the Lamb Fest, are there any surprises? Is there anything that we could look forward to? I mean, don't let everything out of the bag, but are there any surprises in store?
Okay, well, coming out from the initiative, right, with the 1,000 lambs and the 500 kids, some of those animals will go into the Lamb Fest.
Okay.
All right. I know the team initially that dealt with the Lamb Fest did struggle to get animals with the appropriate parameters to service the festival. Coming out from this initiative, that should change. Not should, that will change.
Okay.
Right? Because we're going to be working with the animals specifically, all right, to produce them for the respective markets. From the initiative, we're going to create employment because we need to bring in persons. Specifically, we do have the cadre of workers attached to the respective stations at the moment, but we will need to bring in additional hands to treat with this specific initiative. So there is going to be training, there is going to be employment, and research work, because a lot of information will be generated in going forward with this project. So we're going to be doing a lot of research work with it. The division also have a new unit, TARI, Tobago Agricultural Research Institute. I'm not sure if you heard about it as yet, but they are going to be featuring in this project a whole lot. So we're going to be doing the research and ultimately the publications, right? So farmers are going to be involved. Other stakeholders, other departments, the URP department will be partnering with us, particularly in the labor area, to supply the labor so that they're going to be eventually trained and certified through our TARI, the University of the West Indies. In fact, we're supposed to have a meeting later today with them, and this is going to be one of the initiatives that we're asking them to collaborate with, particularly on the research front. UTT, I think that meeting is in progress now. So that's my next meeting immediately after I'm finished with you. So that is collaboration, right? The Lamb Festival is going to benefit from it. Tobago is going to benefit from the initiative.
Definitely. And we want to thank you so much, Mr. Keith George, for being a part of Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Of course, you have to come back because there's so much that we need to touch on and make the public aware. So much is going on in the agricultural space that we need to touch on. So we're going to definitely have you back for another interesting conversation. So thank you once again for being a part of Brunch today.
It was my pleasure, and thanks very much for the invitation.
You are so welcome. We're going to take a break, guys. We're going to be right back with more Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. But of course, our trivia question, I need to mention the species of turtle nests on our shores during this time of the year. The answer at the end of the show. We will be right back with more Brunch.
Come in. Long time I see you. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah. Total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Madam always busy. Chida could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know.
I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Hello everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Tobago Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
We are back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago, and let me just thank you so much, guys, for being a part of what we're doing. It's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful Monday. on the island of Tobago. And I thank you so much for inviting us into your space and into your homes. And of course, there is a wonderful cross section of persons who visit us on a daily basis. And we are very privileged that we get the opportunity to have these discussions and conversations that we may not have if we were not on this platform. So I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you to my amazing team. Thank you for my wonderful colleagues here at Tobago Updates Television. And we want to continue to bring you quality programming. So I'm just putting it out there. And of course, thank you to the persons who graced the brunch set today. I absolutely enjoyed being with you and having those wonderful conversations with you. And you know, let me just mention this because it brings back so many fond memories for me. The Lion King is one of those animations that changed my life. I would not forget, as long as I live, going to the cinema to see The Lion King, my sister, my cousin, and I. And it changed my whole life. It was such a magnificent production. I would never forget. And speaking of The Lion King, we are upon it again, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens. And I am so proud to announce that we have so many of our creatives from right here in Tobago who are taking part in auditioning for this wonderful production. And it gives me great pleasure to speak with my next guest. Now, if I had to speak on all of the accolades, I would be here all day. But please know that this is a musical director, vocal coach, mentor, musician, you name it, and she has done it. The founder of Media Productions, Miss Glenda Collins, joins us today on Brunch, and we're going to be having a discussion concerning this wonderful, wonderful event that is taking place, where we get to showcase our talents, showcase our sons and daughters and what they bring to the space of TV and film and theatre. And I love it so much. So let me just take the time to welcome Ms. Glenda Collins to a Brunch. Glenda, are you there? So it's a whole vibe for me right now. I have been waiting to speak to you for so long. I have been such a fan because I love the fact that there's this female energy that is doing so much for culture, doing so much for music and film and theater. And I am so honored that I get the chance to speak with you. So let me ask you, how are you doing today, Miss Glenda, Lady Glenda? So, you know, Lion King. All right, so I missed you for a bit. So please just make sure really quickly that your mic is on. I'm hearing bits and pieces. Check and see if your mic is on for me. Yes, and you know, we are just gonna iron some things out technically, but let me just tell you, this is one of the times when, like I said before, our creatives get a chance to show off what it is that they can do. And one of the things that I absolutely love about this initiative is the fact that we get to conduct auditions right here in our space. We don't have to leave these shores in order to be seen, in order to be heard. And I feel so elated. I feel so honored that the opportunity has come about again. I wished I could have been there myself. That would have been an awesome experience. But I am so happy that the initiative is back and that our creatives are getting a chance to really delve in and show what they can do. So Glenda, back to you. Are you there? All right, so we are having just a couple difficulties. And you know what? That's all in a day's work. That's all in the ball game. Sometimes what can go wrong sometimes does. And let me just see, I'm going to be right back. I want to make sure that things are ready. I want to make sure that you are hearing us, that you are into what we're doing. And rather than taking a break, let me just wait a little while. Glenda, are you back?
I'm here.
You see, she's back. She's back. So we can, yeah, I'm hearing you just a bit clearer now.
Okay.
Yes. So the Lion King.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you do what you do. Tell us about what's going on, what's happening, what can we look forward to, times, dates. Let's start with what's going on.
Okay, well, this is Lion King International, and we are casting for 9 productions worldwide. There's a team that goes around the world. Like when I say go around the world, I mean from Anchorage to Australia. And they come to the Caribbean at least twice every 2 years. And they cast from Trinidad, and they place Trinidadians and Tobagonians in productions around the world. Spain, England, Germany, Australia. They can get into the touring company of the English company. So this is really, I'm excited about it. It's a big deal. So what we ask performers, wannabe performers with a dream and a hope that I want to do this and I can do this because my family they've told me all my life I can do this. Yeah, to turn up 25th to the 27th, the first day, the open call, it's an open call for anybody who can come up and display their talent. And you come, you sing. If you're a dancer, you come, you dance. You get a routine, and if you get a call back, you come back the following day. And if you get a third call back, that means you're in. That's the exciting news. We're having technical difficulties. I can't hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay, good. That's all in a day's work. We will get through this.
So what I heard you say about the production is you saw the animation, you saw that thing on, and it made such an amazing impact on you as a child.
Yes, it did.
It did. Lion King is one of the, and I think it's the only production that you have an international cast. And it's the only production that I think you have such still running young children. The scene with the fantasy scene with young Simba and young Nala in the forest with all the plants and the animals, and that scene. And the story of courage, the courage it takes to lose a loved one and pick yourself up and still have the ability to lead. And it's one of the few productions as well that has a young girl that has such an important role. Yeah, that has such an important role in humanity, and to help an entire tribe, a nation of people to find themselves again. So it's an incredible production.
And you know, one of the things that always stood out to me with regards to The Lion King, there's a theme, the circle of life, and it just resonates throughout the entire trajectory, throughout the entire film. And the circle of life is, yeah, the connection is, it's spiritual, it's emotional, you know, you have to make decisions. Do I want to lead or not? What would my father think of me? What would my pride think of me if, should I not take the mantle? You know, deceit. I mean, family members could be just that. They may not be your chair section. Not everybody's happy for you. We see Uncle Scar doing the most and really throwing Simba under the bus. You know, so it speaks to so many aspects of life. It's portrayed by animals, but the movement and the spirituality of it is very much human. It's a humanistic type of vibe.
Yeah, the human experience is what it portrays. And I think the animals are used in a way that that we can have perspective.
Yes.
And so that we can view ourselves in life.
Exactly.
And the opening from the day we arrived on this planet, blinking, stepped into the sun. There's more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done.
Yes.
So life is an endless journey, and I want my people, I want Trinidadians and Tobagonians to come out and take this journey for themselves.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, get out there, come and express yourselves, and maybe get out into the world and show the world what people like Heather Hadley is doing, the original Nala. You know, Dr. Heather Hadley now, we have bestowed on her doctorate. Yeah, so yes, we have the ability, and since the opening of the show, we Trinis have been involved in the show. So it's a tradition with us now.
And you know, there is I always speak about it to anyone who watches the Brunch show. There is a specific rhythm and vibration that we possess as Trinbagonian people. It's not just me ranting and raving on the television every day. It's not that. There definitely is something that resonates with us as Trinbagonian people. When we enter the room, when we put our hands to something, you know, when we create, when we perform, when we are involved in film, culture, you name it, there is something that is magical that resonates. And I was so pleased that the opportunity presented itself again for my Trinbagonian nationals, because I believe that we deserve to be heard, we deserve to be seen, we deserve to spread our light to the world. And this is how I felt when, you know, I saw that, oh, Auntie Glenda is back. Lion King auditions are back. And I know for a fact that so many of the artists here in the Tobago space are on that journey, that
of expression,
you know, magical journey. Yeah.
Stepping into the sun, stepping into the world. And I think the idea now is the world village, isn't it? Yes, so we are part of that world village. And Trinidadians are everywhere. We are everywhere. Our creatives are everywhere. And leading a charge into the new world of entertainment, and I like that we're doing that. I like that we're doing that. I like that we're here. We're in the movies.
Oh yes,
boy in the movies. Yes. So this Broadway production, because of its world people. Yeah. Right now, presently in the cast, in the London cast, the dance captain is Trinidadian. The dance captain for the children is Trinidadian. The two leads, Nala and Simba, are Trinidadians. We have, yes, and I do believe we have a Tobagonian in Germany. Yes, I was to to find the name of the person in Germany. Yeah? And so on the world stage, we are there. Our vibration is what allows us to enter a room, take the space, own the space, and cut and clear a path for ourselves through this world. And I think this with this opportunity coming to us, more of us can do that.
Definitely. But one thing that comes to mind, because I'm thinking, okay, you go to the audition, you're successful, you're chosen. What happens after that? What is the process that follows after being chosen?
Okay, so once you're chosen, you are then placed in the country. So Broadway productions are more or less typecasting. So if you look and you fit the costume, the stage, then you're sent to that. And vocally, you have to be up to it. So you're sent to a country. Your contract is maybe let's say 1 year. Your contract is for 1 year. You have a rehearsal process to integrate you into the production of 3 to 4 months. Then you're put on stage, yes, in lead roles. They're not casting for chorus here. They're casting for lead roles. So you could be a Simba, you could be a Nala, you could be a Mufasa, yeah, you could be a Scar, you could be a Saraki, you could be a Timon, you could be one of the hyenas, yes? And you get a contract, you get housing, you get a stipend, you get a salary. Yes. Let me give you a story of one of the girl who is doing Nala right now on the West End. And I'll say her name. Her name is Janique Charles. And she was cast out of high school here. She was on her way to do, I think, study medicine. She was 19 at the time. And the parents were really concerned about her doing the audition to begin with. She was a student of mine. I said, listen, give her the opportunity to just be seen and heard. She's not been studying and doing dance and on stage and wanting to sing. If she can go and show herself in front of these international casting agents.
Right.
The girl, I said she doesn't, even if she gets cast, she doesn't have to go, but let her go have the opportunity to do this. So she was cast. So I then had to convince the parents. I said, listen, let her go for the year. She will make the money in the year to cover at least her first 2 semesters of medical school. You know? She's been there for 12 years.
Wow.
she got and now she is on to her second production. Okay, so she's on the West End as Nala. She toured England as Nala, and now she is on to other things. Yes,
wow.
In just as Heather Headley did. One of the boys who was cast in the 2019 casting here for Lion King went on to and is now performing with Burna Boy. So he went from Lion King, got snapped up by Burna Boy, and he's now been on tour with Burna Boy for the past 2 years. Wow. You know, so you're not limited to the production, but we hope you're still with the production for at least 10 to 12 years. You know, that you give yourself the opportunity to grow and learn, because there's a lot to learn once you leave here about how to navigate and to get onto other platforms. So, you know, follow a dream.
Yeah, and one thing that I thought about, right, in terms of musicians, I know some very talented musicians in our spaces. Are there opportunities for musicians as well?
In this production, not from Trinidad.
Right.
You would have they're only casting dancers and singers from Trinidad.
Okay.
We have puppeteers who are dying to get into the production, of course. And we know the puppeteer from Trinidad worked with, came and had some of the training right here with one of our master puppeteers worldwide. So this round, it's only singers and dancers. But if you have the opportunity to go to audition for the cast anywhere else in the world, take the opportunity to do so. Yeah, musician, puppeteers, whatever. Yeah.
This is the thing, okay? The immense opportunities that can arise from just being seen and being heard. It's so ironic because just this morning I was having that same conversation with my daughter. She's a musician, she's a singer, she's into all of those wonderful things. And I was trying to, I'm thinking that, this opportunity is not one to miss.
Well, the opportunity for pianists here is every time they come, I have to get a pianist for them to do the auditions, right? So I audition pianists here to accompany the singers for the auditions. So if she's a really competent pianist and can play by ear, not only read music competently, but can follow a singer, she has an opportunity to do something. And I'll give you another story. The last pianist that I hired in 2019 got taken to do a workshop in New York by the auditioners. Yes, but by the crew around the world, because they were so impressed with him, they wanted him to come do one of their workshops in New York. So he went for 2 weeks and they had him. Yeah, there's so many wonderful opportunities, and now he's here with one of the best bands in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. Well, he was before, but now he's just like touring the world. Yeah.
The opportunities are endless.
Trinidad is just so rich. Tobago is just so rich.
Yes.
With talented people, with people with so much talent, And it used to be that we would look upon shows like Fame and all the fabulous musicals that we would look at and think we will never get the opportunity to do that unless we went to the country. But now they're coming here because of the rumors out there that we are really good here. We have such talented people out there that they know we're good. They're coming for us now.
Yeah, and everybody wants to be surrounded by us. This is a fact. When we do the listing, I know Hollywood does this listing of creatives that are Trinidadian born, Trinbagonian born, and the list gets bigger and bigger every year because we are just everywhere, in every sphere, in every country, and our presence is felt because of that rhythm and vibration that we have. There is no ifs and buts about that. I make no apologies. We do have a vibration. We do.
Yeah.
And so it's very evident. Yeah. So just remind us. Yeah, just remind us about.
Yes. So the in the contract that I had to sign, it's called a casting. It's no longer an audition because I've been doing this for at least 10 years, and every time they come, they take at least 7 to 8 people, as many as 10 to 12. So it's a casting, and it's the 25th is the open call. Turn up if you're a dancer. It starts at 9 a.m. There's a warm-up. If you're a dancer, all the dancers get to go do their warm-up with the international choreographer, her name is Celeste Hicks. You have to come and sing. Come with a pop, rock. Do not come with a Broadway musical song to sing. They don't want a Disney. They want to hear something other. So you could come and sing Ella Andel. You could come and sing any folk song from Trinidad and Tobago, any pop song that you know, any R&B that you know, anything other than a Broadway musical piece. Yeah? And just come and showcase yourself. You have to have a headshot, an 8x10 headshot. If you look at the screen, this is a headshot. Right? Don't come with a poster with lots of things swelling in the background. We want to see you, who you are, as you are, looking when you walk through the door, right? And also, yes, you can come and sing anything. There'll be a pianist there. You won't be allowed to sing a cappella. You will have accompaniment because we have to make sure that you can sing in tune.
Yes.
You have to be able to carry a tune, of course, right? But you have to be able to carry a tune really, really well. You have to be trainable. Please come with not your maybe. I don't know what I'm doing today, but come just to be fabulous.
Yes,
be
fabulous.
Yeah, show your best, not your maybe. Yeah, and turn up in your numbers, Tobagonians. I want to see you dancers and singers. Yes.
So we want to thank you
every time. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you again for being a part of Brunch. Oh my gosh, Glenda Collins, an icon in my book. I'm so very privileged and honored that you're here. I will definitely be calling you because I'm seeing an opportunity there. So we'll talk further on that. But thank you so much to Glenda. Thank you so much for being a part of Brunch. Thank you to the persons who graced our presence today. You guys were awesome, phenomenal. Thank you for the people who are watching. I hope that we made you a little happier. I hope that we gave you some light in your day. And before we leave you, our trivia question for today: this species of turtle nests on the shores during this time of the year. The answer, of course, is the leatherback turtle. Now, the leatherback sea turtle comes ashore to nest at various beaches here in Tobago, mainly the Corland Bay or Turtle Beach Heritage Park, Black Rock. There you have it, just a bit of knowledge for some of you who may not know. And thank you so much for being a part of Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. We will see you again next time. Same place, same space. Peace, love, and light, and blessings to each and everyone. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television.